Hi there. In this video we'll be covering what is the best way to self-publish a book. Self-publishing used to have a stigma to it, but now the tide is really shifting and self-publishing is becoming a go-to path for authors. Let's explore why that is and what you can do if you decide to self-publish your book to have the best book possible. By the end of this video, you'll learn why self-publishing your book is becoming more and more popular, how to avoid scams and gimmicks, and how empowering it is to call the shots. And stay tuned until the end of the video for an opportunity I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. In book publishing, there are really two paths that you want to think about. There's the traditional model with a literary agent and a book proposal and a publisher and an agreement and And the other option is self-publishing. Self-publishing is all about you guiding, you calling the shots, you making the decisions, you moving forward, and you publishing the book that you want. There's no gatekeeping, no getting anybody else's approval. It's you. It's your book, and you get to publish your book as you see fit, which is really exciting and really empowering. But at the same time, there are drawbacks to self-publishing. If you don't work with the right people, and you don't take the right steps during the process, you can really get burned. There's not as much of a safety net with self-publishing. With traditional publishing, you're typically working with designers and editors and other people, book publicity people, who are working with that publisher. When you're self-publishing, there's not that safety net there. So you need to go and find those people yourself or do those things in-house. So there's more on your plate, but at the same time, you get to take ownership of this whole process. The best way to self-publish a book is, first thing, to write a great book. I mean, I know it sounds simple, but it's worth saying. You want to write a great book in order to have the outcomes. You can put up anything online and publish it and promote it. You know, it's not going to have the same impact if it's not a great book. You really want to dig deep on what you want to accomplish. You want to write a book that's different and unique. You want to tap into your why and tap into what this book is going to help you accomplish on your journey, whether it's career growth, whether it's leads and clients, whether it's, public speeches, whether it's, a family project, the legacy project, whether it's just something you want to do. You want to write a book. You want to tap into that, and you want to write a great book. Once you write that great book, you need to follow the right steps. It's not enough just to write a book and publish it. And even professional writers like me work with editors. There needs to be safety nets in place. There needs to be people that are helping you, giving you insight and guidance, helping you write the best book possible and publish the best book possible. When I'm talking about those safety nets and editing, I'm really focusing on three elements of editing. The first is developmental or content editing, which is the story level. The second level is copy editing, which is more of the paragraph and sentence level and focuses on word choice and punctuation and flow and style. And then that third phase is proofreading, catching anything that got missed, making sure everything sings. You want your writing to be as strong as possible, and you want your message to really resonate. So you want to follow those steps, and you want to work with editors who've worked on books before, editors who have success in this area, editors who have done this work and know what they're doing. Before I got into book publishing, I worked in media in New York City. I was a news editor and news reporter in New York City, and I was constantly reading copy. I was constantly making sure that everything was as strong as possible before we published anything. But at the same time, it was a big step for me to go from news writing and editing to book writing. It's a different process, and there's so many things that you can learn and have to learn to be successful with books. If you end up working with some editor that maybe you have a relative that does editing work, they might not understand what it takes to have a successful book. They might be a great editor of words, but not understand how to connect all the dots. So you want to work with professionals, and you want to work with people who have experience with editing books. The same goes for design work. You want to work with designers who have experience with books, who can, create great covers and interior design. There's programs you can use like Canva to design everything today. I know how easy it is, and if you have an eye for design, great. But if you don't have an eye for design or want to work with somebody else, think about it, because they can really help to take your message to that next level. With self-publishing, thinking about platforms is so crucial. Where do you want your book to be available? Where do you want people to find it? Amazon is the world's most popular bookseller, so that's one option. Local bookstores possibly, maybe your website. Maybe you want to sell your book as a lead magnet on your website. It's a great idea, especially for business owners. So you want to connect your book to your other services and offerings. You want to connect your book to everything else that you do and make your book a part of your platform, a part of your bigger goals, a part of all the pieces of your offerings. You want to get people excited to work with you from reading your book and booking you as a speaker and all those other things. You need to connect all the dots. But by thinking about platform and thinking about where to publish your book, you can figure out how you want to meet people, reach people, and have people find you, which is super exciting. It's so easy these days to go to Google and find a company that's going to do everything for you. Every step of the process. I've worked with, I don't know, half a dozen to a dozen of these companies in some capacity, whether with the company, whether a client of mine worked with them, and they're all kind of the same. They're all very similar. The services that they're offering and the services that you're paying for are often overpriced. They're often grouped together as a package, and they say, okay, we'll do X, Y, and Z for you, and you pay this much. But when you break down those services, the price is actually much lower, when you go individually. So it can be very disingenuous to think about a company doing all these things for you. And ultimately, they can take advantage of the things that you don't know. What you don't know is what you don't know. And I know it's simple and basic and easy to say, I want to work with this one company that's going to do everything for me. But you're probably leaving money on the table. And at worst, some of these companies are predatory and they won't really accomplish what you want them to do, or they'll do a cursory level. Who is this company working with? Are they outsourcing their work overseas? Are they working with people who have experience? You could be paying for, high-level services and not work with high-quality people. So it's really important to do your due diligence, to talk to the people that are going to be working on your book, to understand who they are a little bit more, because otherwise you don't know and you could be taken advantage of. And I don't want that to happen to you. Again, going back to the biggest benefit of self-publishing, you call the shots. You get to work with whoever you want to work with. You get to do whatever you want to do. You get to write and publish the book that you want to write and publish. And you get to carry it forward and share it however you want. There's so much awesome power that comes with that. This is my book, and I'm going to do with it exactly what I want. There's no disappointment because you get to call the shots. The outcome is the outcome, and that's something else. But, you get to call the shots, and there's so much greatness that comes with being able to do that yourself, to be able to say, I published my book, and not have to worry about anybody else telling you it's good enough, not worry about anybody else telling you that your platform's solid. You don't have to worry about anybody's affirmation. You don't have to worry about anybody's approval. You get to publish the book that you want to publish, and you get to sign off when you're ready. So if you're waffling, if you're going back and forth about how to publish your book and wondering if self-publishing is right for you, it 100% probably is. Embrace it. Embrace self-publishing. It is an opportunity for you to share your message with the world, to connect with people, possibly to change your life and their life too. And there's so many great things that can come from self-publishing. And, if you follow the steps and you work with the right people, you can have so much success. It's a great opportunity, and I really think you should explore it further. If you want to learn more about what is the best way to self-publish a book, there's definitely another video of mine that I think you should check out. I'll link to it on the screen. It's called What Are the First Steps in Publishing a Book? In that video, I really focus heavily on digging deep on purpose, on book foundation work, and all the things that you need to do before you write a single word of your book. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.